Hello YouTube, today we got an Asus Vivobook Flip 14 tp401n, and it came in here for the power jack repair, charging port repair, charge port repair, this guy right there. I'm not sure if it's broken or not, so I wanna take it apart, see if it's broken, because I haven't really seen this laptop here before, so that's the reason I'm making this video. Let's get a good screwdriver right here and let's take it apart. Basically, this is a disassembly video on how to fix a power jack, how to fix a power connector. You unscrew all the screws on the bottom. Alright, like that. Let's open up the bottom casing. We're gonna use a pick to remove the bottom casing from the top of the laptop. Let's make sure all the screws are out. And let's open up and see what we got inside. Because I'm not sure what kind of charging port or power jack connector inlet socket is inside of this. Maybe we have screws right here and right there. Maybe we do. So let's try and see. Yeah, we got a screw here. We probably got a screw right there. Okay. We got both of the screws out. And like that. And like that. Okay, good job. All right, now that well, you know what, here. Let me show you why those laptops fail all the time. Let's see. You see, the casing conducts electricity. It's unpainted surface. So if you squeeze the laptop too hard, it's gonna stop working. Yeah, so from what I'm seeing here, it's probably not a connector issue because this connector hardly ever goes bad. I know this connector really well. Let's take a look and see. What I want to do is, the way how you disconnect the battery is by moving this top hinge thingy forward, that way, and unplugging the connector like that. Now let's connect this power supply that seems to be brand new. Alrighty, let's connect it here, and let's connect it right here. And looks pretty solid to me. Let's measure the voltage at the back of the jack. At the back of the jack, we get the voltage, okay? Alright, let's see if we get the voltage. Oh, I see what they did. So the aluminum conducts electricity, but what they did, they put a clear tape on top of the motherboard so that that would protect the board from when you squeeze the casing. Yeah, even though it's kind of loose, you know what, it's kind of loose. It's not a solid connection here. Well, we get 20 volts going through to the board. We do get 20 volts easy going to here, and let's see, going right there. All right, and we can also see the lights right here that come up. All right, so technically I'm not sure what the problem is. All right, is it, well, here, let's see. All right, so when I hold it in a certain position, when I let it go, or when I wiggle it, you know what, let me let me power this guy up. Where is the power button? Right here is the power button. And we got Asus, and we wiggle it, and we wiggle it more. And did it shut down or it didn't shut down? Probably did shut down. Okay, let's try one more time. Alright, so now I hold the jack at an angle. The plug at an angle. Alright, come on. We just had something on the screen. And when we wiggle it again, it goes out, right? Does it go out and stops working, or is it just going out? Here, let's try one more time. Let's see if we're gonna get past the welcome screen. Okay, so let's see if I hold the plug just right. Preparing automatic repair, okay. There is no fans on this laptop, so it's hard to say if it's anything working or not. It's really silent. That's what I like. What I don't like is the touch screen, because it's a glassy finish. You could see my face in here, basically. When you program on it, for example, you are almost always seeing yourself. Yeah, so once I let it go, everything shuts down. So yeah, it's the connector issue because well, the plug is brand new. I assume that's the case, all right? And it's, I guess the inside of the connector wore off. We are gonna unscrew the battery right here. Okay. And we're gonna take the battery off. Next thing what we're gonna do is disconnect the speaker cable right here from the motherboard. We're gonna disconnect the keyboard cable from the motherboard as well. Take the keyboard cable out and kind of set it like that. Then you wanna disconnect the touchpad cable, and you wanna disconnect this cable for that daughter board. Disconnect the Wi-Fi cables. Unscrew the screw for the Wi-Fi card. Disconnect the Wi-Fi card. And you want to disconnect the, my understanding this is the touch screen, or maybe that's the microphone and video cam cable from the motherboard right here. Set this guy aside. Okay. And you want to disconnect the screen cable right here. Okay, like that. Alright, so the situation here is this. There is a cable, I mean there is a tape right here which you need to lift up and use that tape to pull on this cable. Alright, set this cable aside, unscrew this, unscrew that, these screws from the motherboard, and let's unscrew the hinge. Alright, so we unscrew the hinge. Set the screws for the hinge aside. Another motherboard screw right here. Alright. Oh, that's a really tiny motherboard screw. The tiniest of all of them. Alright, so here we don't need this tape anymore, I assume. Right? Let's take the tape out. Well, it's the same compound as the one that we have on the motherboard, so like that. Like that. Alrighty, so I think we're good to take the connector of the motherboard. We open up the screen a little bit so that the cable would be rotated. Now we're gonna remove it like that. Alright, so set the whole thing aside. the connection is solid, so the problem is probably inside the connector there. So here what I want to do is I'm gonna just put Kapton tape around so that the rest of the tape wouldn't melt. And I'm gonna be putting the hot air on top of this thing. So to drop the connector from the motherboard, I want to put the Kapton tape on top of the nearby connector so they wouldn't go bad while I am trying to desolder this connector. And let me show. So the way how you desolder this guy is you add some flux, then you add some leaded base solder, then you add some hot air. This whole thing gonna drop from the motherboard. Then you suck all of the solder from the motherboard using a soldering wick and a soldering iron, and then you put the new connector in and you solder everything up. All right, so let me show you how to do it. We'll have to work on this setup because all of the vibration from the exhaust fan are going into the camera setup. Let's power up and see if the hot air also gonna go into the, yeah, I can see vibrations on the screen. I will get to it eventually because I understand that nobody likes to see an image that's not a really good quality image. So what I'm doing is I added some flux and I'm adding some solder right here, right there, and right there. All right, so what I want to do is I want to add some solder to the other side as well, because I can see there are a lot of the soldering points here. All right. And I probably just want to desolder it from this side because we got a lot of heating area here. Let's try and build something like that. Raise up the motherboard a little bit, push on the jack from the bottom, and we are out of the jack here, like that. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna clean up the holes where the connector was mounted at, like that. Okay. Let's all right, looks good to me. Looks really good. And now we're just gonna desolder right here. Reduce the hot air a little bit, the temperature on the hot air, so it wouldn't be melting the motherboard. Like that. Okay. Looks good. You want to make sure that all of the holes are nice and clean so that we can mount a brand new jack to the motherboard. Alrighty, it turns out I don't have exactly the same jack because this guy sits slightly lower in the motherboard. I got this jack right here, which has exactly the same layout, but it sits, if you compare the two, this is gonna sit slightly higher, this sits slightly lower. Even though I was under impression I got something like that. Anyways, so what we're gonna install what we have here, because I'm pretty sure if I don't have it, nobody else has it. By the time you watch this video, I'm probably gonna be able to find an exact replacement like that one. But for now, I mean, I'm the guy who imports most of that stuff into United States. And after I order from the factory replacement connectors, exactly the same ones, they get on the market. So here, let's put this brand new connector. Let's add some solder right here. Let's add some solder right there. Alrighty. Like that. And like that and like that. Good job. Good job. A bit too much right here, but it's gonna be okay. Let's flip this guy over and solder everything through on this side. Alright, okay. Alrighty and alrighty. Now here what I want to do is I want to add a little bit more flux on this side. Like that. And then what I want to do next is add some solder right here, right there, and right there, and right there. Okay. So let's remove the extra solder from where I put it using this soldering iron. Alright. Excellent. Good job. Anyways, basically that's where the thermal tape was on. Let's cut this guy off. Another thing is let's clean it up. And the way how I'm gonna clean it up, some alcohol. Alright, some alcohol here. 99%. We wanna get things up like that here. Alright, it looks good to me. Let's clean up right here as well. Alrighty. Looks good. Alrighty, so here we got the new connector soldered in place. I just wanna double check to make sure everything is conducting the way it should, so I wouldn't take it apart one more time. Alright, so plus is fine, this is minus, and this one is also minus, so 3 minuses. 4, 5, 6, 7, the sides are also minuses, and this rear one is the plus. Okay. Alrighty. Now, because this guy is gonna sit slightly higher, what I have to do is remove the let's see, do I have the cutters nearby someplace? Alright, remove the whole alignments here. Is that aluminum casing? No, it's not aluminum casing. Okay, oh, well, it's falling apart by itself. Strange. I was thinking usually it's a lot more difficult to do, but I guess due to the heat. Okay. Alright. Alright. And let's do a little bit here. A little bit right there. Alright. Excellent, excellent. Good job. Alrighty, I have some clients coming in, so I'll have to get back to this video in a few hours, so I'm not sure how well it's going to be recording for now. Alrighty, it's been a busy day, and the day is almost over. I had to do a lot of other stuff, so here, let's finish this guy up. Let's put this guy right here, like that. Like that. And like that. Okay. Looks good. Looks solid. Bring this guy down right here. 3 screws from the from the hinge. Here is one. Here is two. Here is three. And close down like that. And close this guy down. We got all right, so the tiny screw goes in right here, right there. This one goes right here, and right there is another one. Another one goes right here. Okay. Not sure if this one went in the way I wanted to go in. It's hard to say if it's straight or not. It looks straight to me. So we're gonna move this guy right here like that. And this cable, LED cable, goes right there. Let's connect this socket into this cable into this socket. Okay. Like that. Alright guys, if the video was useful, please consider leaving a like. If you leave a comment something like great job, that would be really appreciated, because the more comments, the higher the video gets rated. You should understand that this is not a blockbuster, obviously, but trying to go above and beyond. So here, this guy goes in like that. Short screw going in right here. And those cables we connect. Black is the main one. White is not the main one. Like that. Okay. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Everything seems to be screwed in. Okay. Just want to make sure that this is all nice and tight. Let's bring the battery. Alright, so the battery gonna go like that. We have two screws that hold the battery in place. One right here. One right there. Okay, wonderful. Close that down. So you press it down and then you close the hinge. Okay. All right. One other thing I want to do is I want to put some tape on in the back of the connector, so that it wouldn't be touching the case, because the casing is conductive surface. I just want to make sure nothing touches anything here like that. All right, that's good. All right, so that's connected, so we can close down the whole thing. All right. Okay, wonderful. All right, so we got the black screw going in right here. All right, another black screw going in right here. All right, we're gonna screw down this guy. Screw down that guy. Okay. And do it all around the perimeter. All right, that's good. Put this tape down here. The things that block the. All right, looks good. And that's the reason why I made the. Yeah. All right, let's try and see if we wiggle it around. Okay, so we do get the light, we get the Asus screen. All right, and we wiggle it. Now the battery is inside, so sometimes when the battery is inside, it might be working off the battery. Hard to say here. Really hard to say what's going on. This thing. You see that thing still switches on and off right there. Take a look at that. The fork is plugged in, right? But when we move it up, down, left, right, you see how it disappears. Sometimes you get the fork, sometimes we don't. So I'm not sure if it's even the jack issue. Maybe it has something to do with the diodes on the motherboard. That's one thing. Or when I wiggle it, maybe the cord right here is bad. So I'm gonna start with the cord being bad. I will replace the cord. I mean, it's much better than it used to be, right? Yeah, right there. So the cord might be bad right here. So I'm gonna chop this guy off, put another cord, and everything should be working fine. Now it's kind of late night here, so I will have to do this guy tomorrow. And I will just make a comment below if it did work out, if the tip of the cord helped the situation. But sometimes if you just send us the motherboard and you get it back and it still gives you, when you wiggle it hard like that here, if it still gives you issues, it's probably your cord. All right. And it happens on many laptops that we receive here. So yeah, no, wrong one. Yeah, I'm gonna chop this guy off, put another cord, and it's gonna be on its way out of here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Again, I'm sorry it's really late now, and you guys take care and have a good day. Thanks.